Hello, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at Endless Space. Disharmony, yes! Finally! I have been waiting a long time for this expansion. I don't know about you, but I definitely have. My name, or rather nickname, is PANCZASU, the mighty MiG spammer. And I welcome you to my video series, one of my many Endless Space videos series, but the first series of the expansion of this game. And the first thing that comes to my eyes is this obnoxious, unnatural mouse. I don't know about you people, but I hate it when my mouse looks like a normal Windows mouse. I really do. But I guess it's just one of the release bugs you have to bear with, and I'm perfectly fine with this release bug as long as I can play Disharmony. I could not wait. Now, there's going to be a little bit of talking at the start of this video before the gameplay because, hey, there is a lot of things to talk about. So the first thing that you can see once you actually buy and download this Disharmony update is that you can still switch to Classic. This will exit the game, which we will not do, and you will play the good old Endless Space with a bunch of updates but no game-changing mechanics, let's say. So it's a very nice feature, allowing the traditionalists to still enjoy the good old Endless Space without any of the new shenanigans. Now, I'm actually curious here, none of my games are loadable, that was to be expected, and yeah. And I did get a quick look at this game just to see if everything is recording right and whatnot, and so many things have changed, but fear not, as while I do have quite a bit of knowledge about Disharmony because I have to, I love Endless Space and I was, following its development, I'm still pretty much green. I just recently downloaded this expansion, and what you're looking at is my very first minutes of playing this expansion pack. So, you know as much as I do, maybe slightly less or more. Anyway, as it is to be expected, we're gonna change the difficulty to endless and game speed to fast, because that's how we roll. Exploration events can stay at average, I have no issue with that. Exploration events flag, that's good. Ambis Galaxy map, definitely, especially since it was updated in this expansion. Galaxy City for events, whatever. Technology exchange per mission, that's a very cool newly added feature. Basically, in the past you could just fool AI into giving you 1,000, endless quantities of tech for nothing. Now you can turn it off, and la-di-da, it's fixed. I'm gonna leave it in because I will not be using it in my playthrough, and the AI deserves to actually share its technologies, and maybe I'll, try to steal something. Because I'm playing on Endless, I need every advantage I can get. Battle timer is off, obviously battles in manual mode, yes. Score victory off, but every other victory we're gonna leave on, because it's our first time with the expansion, so why not leave them on? And let's apply the changes. Now, as you can also see, all 13 of my custom factions are gone, but that is not a problem. I made a backup copy of them, so in my free time, the first thing I do is copying them into the folder that is responsible for the expansion and retrofitting them so that they fit the expansion as well, updating the traits and whatnot, so they will be back. But for today's playthrough and the upcoming next couple of days, I guess, we're gonna have to play as the newly added faction called Disharmony. Now, you can read all you want about them over here, that's not the longest description, but it's a classic Endless Space description, which is all you need. We're gonna start with our new affinity, which is the Harmony affinity, which basically means we cannot use dust. Dust in fact hurts us quite a lot, and we want to get rid of it as much as humanly possible. Which makes for a rather interesting gameplay, because especially if a universe is filled with Harmony and Chaos players, very quickly everybody is gonna, have no more resources to exploit. Which is gonna be kind of funny, isn't it? Anyway, what else I have? Xenobotany to colonize Tundras, which is just natural because I start on a Tundra. Crowded planets, so more population, always nice to have. Strategically resourceful, a newly added trait, which basically means that it is easier to get an abundance of resources, very useful. Mineral memory, also, nice because you know what kind of resources you can get. Efficient stock, also a very nice thing, although a little bit more difficult to do anything with it, because in this expansion I have been told resources are more sparse. which is something I love. As you can remember, I always played with as few resources as possible. And solid citizens. Less collateral damage when somebody attacks my population from what I can get. Which is a new, how do you call it? Conquest mechanic, let's say. Basically, there are no alternative ways to conquer a system, but we'll get to that. I am not going to talk about all the changes in this intro screen, because it would take forever and it's kinda stupid, is it not? Anyway, Galaxy, what kind of shape are we going to go for? Last time we went for a disc, but because my previous playthrough is sadly unlikely to be ever finished, because you know the game has received its expansion, I think we might as well try the disc again, because I liked this galaxy shape. You know what, we might change it a little bit by going for a disc 4. Why not, let's try a disc 4. Size, let's go for a large one. Empires, obviously we're gonna go for 8. I'm kinda sad that devs have not added more empires, because now that by default we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 factions. Yeah, it would be kinda nice to actually be able to see all of them in the same, at the same time, especially since Sheridan now are no longer exclusive to people like me who bought the more expensive Admirals edition. Everybody can play as them, and they have their own new affinity and custom traits. Personally, as a guy who had to pay more for the game, I'm okay with this. I mean, I paid more for the game to support the devs, not to gain an awesome, skin for the Sheridan, although I would like to get something in return, but that's because I'm greedy. I'm perfectly fine with what the devs did. They basically gave us a new faction for nothing, so, you can't complain about this, can you? Maybe slightly in the back of my head, but I don't care about it, really. Alright, age, let's go for normal. System balancing. Yeah, you know what, actually, age, let's go for random, why not? And let's go for as much randomness as possible. So, no balance on system balancing. Galaxy density, let's leave it at high. Star connectivity. I like the low star connectivity because we are playing on a disc 4. Number of constellation few is good. Wormholes average. Let's go for high amount of wormholes to just make the inter-wormhole transportation systems more viable. If you remember, they are actually a thing. You can teleport between the wormholes when you get the tech for it. Constellation distance, whatever, let's make it average. Planets per system, random. Planets is random, and resources low. I know that they are even rarer now with this expansion, but I like it when they are hard to get. Now, what kind of races are we going to fight against? Well, definitely Sowers, because I want to see if they are still as underpowered as they used to be. We'll think about the Sophons. Hishio are just a stable thing to have. I might actually get rid of the Horatio, I'm not sure. I do want to get Automatons in favor of somebody else, and I do want to get Sheridan. So let's think. Red is the color of Cravers, as far as I'm concerned, and I want to leave them in. Yellow is the color of United Empire, in my opinion, so let's put Sheridan over here instead. You know what, I might get rid of the amoebas. We had plenty of the amoebas in my previous playthrough because we kept fighting with them, and while I do love their ship designs, before the expansion they were my favorite or second favorite ship design. Now I'm not sure because there are more ship designs. But anyway, you know the deal. I think I'll just get rid of the amoebas. Why? Because they are more on the pacifistic side of things, just like the automatons are, but still I would like to get a little bit more action going. I think it's perfectly understandable, is it not? And let's get Sophons as well. Now, Horatio are probably going to dominate this game, but then again, the balance of this game has changed completely. All the planet values have been revamped, they provide you different fits than what they used to provide, and the game is just a whole new experience for everybody, which is something I'm truly in love with. So without further ado, apparently I have no name, that's because this game still does not support Korean characters, which I use for my nickname on Steam, but whatever, I think we are ready to rumble. Let's make a final look if everything is set up, but I think it is. Shape is good, difficulty endless, game speed fast. Let's do this! Start a game. And you know what I should have done? I should have paused the recording because it is going to take a long time to load this game. That's because, unfortunately, Endless Space is not, or at least it wasn't, I don't know, maybe the devs have fixed it, but it was not the most optimized game when it comes to galaxy generation, because it doesn't support multiple cores. Or maybe it was because of the RAM cap, I don't remember. One of the two issues, however, is involved. So it's not the best game when generating a new galaxy, but aside from that, it's perfectly optimized, so you cannot really complain about it. And a little bit of waiting is nothing I really care about, especially with this cool new artwork. I do like it quite a bit. It's a little bit bigger than what you see right now. That's because I do not use a widescreen monitor, so you cannot see all the artwork, which is a little bit sad, but well, that's not really a big issue now, is it? Now, another reason why I'm not pausing the recording for the duration of this loading screen is because of this.
The Harmony were
Look.
born at the same moment as the universe. As old as time, they traverse the galaxies, seeking the mysterious confluence of galactic rhythms they call the core. But that changed forever when they encountered dust. From a single movement to a series of individuals, from a sense of the core to a sense of loss, the Harmony are no longer what they were. But they remember what happened and will never renounce their relentless war against the dust that corrupted them.
Okay, so basically what happened to the Harmony, there's a long and interesting lore about them that you can find on the official website of Endless Space or the forums or whenever, but essentially the deal is this. They are as old as Big Bang because they were created with it, and they were multiple, but they were like one thing. They weren't even awake and conscious per se. They were just like minerals, except minerals that can respond to stimuli and react to environment and do other things that we expect life to do, except they were not alive, which was very interesting. In fact, the Harmony faction is very old. It was in the lore of the Endless faction before the playable alpha of Endless Space was released. So it's nothing new, it's only new that we can actually play as them. So what happened, they actually stumbled upon the universe of the Endless, and then bad things occurred. By which I mean, you know, it does actually corrupted them literally, and made them into actually that's true, it made them live a normal life that normal factions, I mean races, can live. There are now a series of individuals with thoughts, names, destinies, that's going a little bit far, but you know what I mean. And they hate dust for it, so they're seeking to get rid the universe of its corruption once and for all. A very interesting lore, there is more to it, so I encourage you to check it for yourself. However, before we move on, I noticed that this galaxy doesn't look all that great. I mean, as you know, I like it when galaxies look awesome, and recently the galaxy ambience has been updated in this patch. I mean, in this expansion, but I did not see much of the new stuff. Maybe this is a new feature, but it's not really a big feature. So what I'm going to do is pause the recording and generate a different galaxy, which hopefully looks more interesting. I will be right back. Okay, after lots of trials, I was finally able to find a galaxy that actually looks quite interesting. As you can see, it has this mixture of green and blue color, which I particularly enjoy. And in the background there are those two things which I don't really know what they are, but they also look pretty cool, and they are they're visible from pretty much anywhere, which is a good thing. The bad thing is, I had a quick look at my system before I started recording. It's a really bad starting system. I mean, it will take ages for me to find it, to get the technology to colonize Baron or Gas Giant, and even when I do, it's only a 3-planet system, and it's not particularly good at all. It's pretty bad. It is really bad. I don't like it. Especially since, as I said, I'll have to restart this game at least 10, maybe even 15 times, because I had horrible lack of the background. but at the same time I had amazing luck with systems. I mean, I was getting 5 or 6 planet systems with like one system in fact had 3 Tundras and an asteroid belt, plus a Tundra that I was starting on, so 4 Tundras in total. That was crazy. Other system had 3 lavas and an asteroid belt, and others were more normal but still pretty amazing. So this thing right here, a very bad luck, but you know, it happens, I guess. So anyway, I think it's actually a good idea to restart my timer, otherwise I will not realize that I have been recording for 20 hours. Let's have a quick look at this first piece of thing that we can read after loading the game. Disharmony. The harmony has arrived, not like a meteor shower on the landslide, but like erosion or plate tectonics. They have been moving since the birth of the universe, passing through galaxies as they seek the core. Their migration was deliberate, calm, inevitable. Dust was their downfall. In the galaxy of the endless they were ensnared, This strange technological creation that affected particles, fields, and waves broke the single movement of the harmony into a cacophony, I don't know this word, I'm sorry, of individual elements. The dust took away their propulsion, their ability to hear the resonance of the universe, and the shared consciousness. In their place, it offered language, individuality, mechanics, and control. Their brethren continue elsewhere in the universe, unknowing and unaffected. But in this galaxy, the harmony have fallen from grace and turned into gravity-enchained individuals. The harmony saw dust, then, as an infecting menace or a plague. With their newfound skills of ship construction, they began to take measures to destroy it. Measures that they saw as necessary and entirely moral. What the harmony would refer to as the righteous cleansing will be referred to by others as the harmony wars, for the harmony made no differentiation, I'm gonna skip this word, between inhabited and uninhabited. To them, a planet could only be categorized as either infected or clean. Attacking in small, individual ships that are difficult to hit, purposefully targeting dust-infected infrastructures and populations, the rest of the galaxy lived the arrival of the harmony as a minor apocalypse. Other peoples responded in kind, creating fighter and bomber craft to counter the harmony's unusual tactics, bringing the war to their enemy. Planetary bombardment and invasion will take a new turn. New heroes will rise up to counter the threats. A pretty cool text, if I have to be completely honest with you. And it reflects on many of the changes to the expansion, the new fighters and bombers that you can actually create, and new invasion technique, and a lot of other stuff. Some things I will not be able to showcase to you. Why? I'm playing as the harmony. I don't use dust. I do not generate dust. I cannot use dust. Dust is evil to me. It lowers my FIS, which is food, industry, and science. And dust is evil for me. As simple as that. So it means that not only I cannot use dust, nothing costs me dust, but I cannot spend dust on anything. Now, in the past, I was able to first of all convert industry into dust. Now I am able to convert industry into food, which is great and powerful ability, I assure you. Also, if I were making some kind of production, for example, I were making a defender, I could be able to, buy it out. But as a harmony, I cannot purchase anything because I'm not using dust. Also, I do not have to worry about upkeep of my ships or my improvements or my anything. Nothing costs anything, and I cannot gain any dust anyway. However, it also means that I cannot buy any heroes who are paid in dust. So it's a really interesting thing, and instead of your standard tax rate, you have a food science conversion called Mind and Matter, which basically allows you to control if you want to focus on food or science. Now, early on in the game, actually, it's a good idea, a good thing to think about. Do you want to focus on food or science early on? I mean, in early game, sure, food is very important, but at the same time, in those very few first 5 to 10 turns, you need the extra science to gain the first few technologies. Speaking of technologies, there have been some changes. If you have a quick look at this, that's not how the technology tree used to look like. But first of all, this thing entirely is, if I'm not mistaken, I have not played as other factions in this expansion because, as I told you, those are my first minutes with the expansion. But that's not how how is it called? Diplomacy and trading tree usually looks like. But that's how it looks like for Harmony. There is nothing that is related to dust over here. Or rather, there are things related to dust, but they no longer give you dust. I mean, you know, they give you something else instead. And another change that is actually universal across factions, I checked it with a different faction, is the military tree. Which looks... wow. I mean, it looks totally different from what we used to see. Now, partially I'm kinda sad. Why? The old tech tree had a lot of cool icons that are no longer here. No, I'm serious, I love the old icons and many of them are missing now. Though we do have a couple of extra ones. Another thing I don't really like is over here. Yeah, the state-of-the-art weaponry that was always the toughest to acquire but was called like Entropic something and had amazing descriptions and whatnot that I loved is not here. The best weapons you can get are over here and they are definitely not state-of-the-art. You can get better stuff than that. Which I don't necessarily like. In fact, I do not like it at all. I might change my mind later on as we play the expansion pack. But I would love there to be, you know, the top level of weapons that is so difficult to get, it is more expensive than anything else. Which is what the old top tier weapons were, essentially. They're extraordinarily expensive in terms of science, and I loved it. Now it is fairly easy to get the best weapons in the game, which is not something I particularly like. I'm gonna be honest right here. But you know, those are my first minutes of the expansion. I might change my mind. Anyway, it is important that I actually pick my first thing to acquire, and that's an interesting thing. A resource leverage which unlocks an Emperor improvement call chats. Temporary effects depending on the game speed, which doubles my movement speed. What does it mean by temporary effects? Does it mean that it only lasts for a single turn or something? I have no idea. I assume that it is the case, but there is no way I'll waste how much science? 42.5 cents for this. Now, in the late game this could be amazing, but right now, no. Right now I need something with an immediate effect. So let's have a quick look at this. Silic Souls looks like a very powerful and important thing to have, and alien graphing is good as always, so I think I'll start with xenobiology. But first of all, is there a system I can reach in a single turn? Now, I know that the UI looks a little bit different, I'll talk about this in a moment, but first of all, Scout, can you make it into this red dwarf? Yes you can. What do you find inside? Oh come on, a single planet system? It is a huge Tundra, but it's a single planet system, which I hate. So we're not getting over there. Alright, good to know. Now, my colony ship. Because my starting hull system is so very small, it is not a good idea to actually transfer my population onto my home system, because, you know, it will soon be maxed out regardless, and I'll struggle to make it not stagnate. So instead, I'll send it to this area, Red Dwarf, right away. Now, something that has changed, which I also do not particularly like, let's talk about the negatives first, shall we? Because I'm absolutely in love with most of the changes in this expansion, so I like to think about the downsides first. So first of all, the colony. As you can see, when you start making a colony ship, look at this. You can no longer get your population growth, which I hate. It's a feature from Civ 5, it was just like it in Civ 5, you do not grow when you make a colony ship. But in Civ 5 you do not lose your population when you actually make a colony ship. Maybe now you don't lose it as well, I don't know. But regardless, I like the old endless space system better, in which you would still continue to grow because, you know, people still want to replicate even if there are colonization ships being built. But at the same time, they are being transferred to those colonization ships, so you do lose population when creating them. So I like the old endless space mechanic in this area better than it is in its current form. So I'm not particularly happy about this change either. Now, another change, which we have seen a preview of in the Save the Stars mod. The planets produce different quantities of different resources. So now Tundras are in fact not an amazing place for science, instead they focus on industry and they bring you two of everything else. Interesting to know. Also Barn no longer gives you any dust, which is good for us because Disharmony hates dust. And gas giants bring you twice the amount of resource they are, you know, focused on. So healing brings you 20 science instead of 10, hydrogen gives you 20 dust instead of 10, and methane gives you 20 industry instead of 10. Some pretty big changes. Right, now then, let's think. I think, yeah, what is important to do is rename our home system, obviously. How do I want to call it? I am going to call it Mrs. Fat Lady. Wait, what? Hot Lady? What? Fat Lady. Mrs. Fat Lad? Alright, let's make it Mrs. Fat Lad. Hello, I'm Mrs. Fat Lad 1 and I'm a stunning planet and I'm horrible and absolutely dreadful because all the planets around me are also absolutely pathetic. So Mrs. Fat Lad is going to be our home system, a very proud system but worthless nevertheless. Let's start working on xenobiology and also queue up in anyway fusion plants afterwards. As I can see, they have not been nerfed, which makes me very, very happy indeed. Alright, as for Mrs. Fat Lad, what do I want her to do? Well, obviously exploit, and I do want to have some extra food, and that's what I'm going to focus on for the next 2 turns. Afterwards, I guess I'll just convert industry into food, and then consider other options. Now, something many of you may have been waiting for, it's time to have a quick look at the ships. Now, first of all, the ship design view has been completely redone. I mean, I have no idea what the special slots are. No, I have no idea what they are. Also, this thing is kind of new to me. But actually, that's interesting. Accuracy score of the selected ship design. That's a new statistic which I am in love with already. Evasion score of the selected ship is design. So you can actually, you know, affect your invasion. That's pretty cool. There is military power, there is invasion military power. Yeah, I like the new changes. Now, another change. As you can see now, your weapons can be customized to be either long range, medium range, or melee. So in the past, as you remember, kinetics were always the best in melee, beams were always the best in medium, and the missiles were the best in long range phase. Now, from what I can tell, you can actually make them thrive in the long range. I'm interested to know why do I have so much tonnage used up already. Oh, that's because I had deflectors. Okay. So anyway, I'm sorry for this moments of silence. I was just dumbfounded a little bit. But, and actually, where does this tonnage go? Oh, I'll probably have some support modules installed as well. Yeah. All right. It's just for the purpose of demonstration. I want to have a look at it. So while I do enjoy the new system that allows you to configure your kinetics to be effective in long range phase, what I do not really like is that you cannot have multiple types of kinetics equipped at the same time. So I like to have, for example, 2 long range kinetics, right? 2 medium range kinetics, and 2 melee range kinetics. From what I can tell, that's not actually the option. You can only have all of your kinetics, you know, configured to work best in a very specific range, which is a little bit of a shame because the game could have gained so much and did not show no depth by making, you know, allowing you to have one weapon focused in different types of range at the same time. But as it stands, it's still an improvement, so I kind of like it. What I like a little bit less is that I forgot what I tried to say. I'm sorry, it happens. Anyway. We are not going to redesign our scout ship because at the moment we need it. I just wanted to show you the changes. And yeah, because I'm not going to produce any ships anytime soon, I'm not gonna make any changes to design of those particular ships because I don't think it is important. Alright, so last but by no means least, let's change the mind and meta thingy. And why not go all in for my science? This way I will get the xenobiology in just 2 turns, but at the same time I'm actually losing population. Oh boy, so I should not do it like this then. I should make sure that I gain in population at a reasonably decent speed, but also that I can get soil xenobiology relatively quickly as well. So right now it will take me 5 turns, right? Let's see if I can make it up to 4 turns. No, nothing I do can actually make me gain it. So actually, no, never mind. It just UI takes a while to update. That's annoying. All right. Anyway, so xenobiology takes 20 reset points. So with 10 science, it would only take me 2 turns to actually get it, which is good. I want to get it as soon as possible, so I can sacrifice 2 turns worth of food growth, especially since my whole system is about to stagnate very quickly anyway, because I can only expand to a single planet out of those 3. Alright, that was a very long introduction, I am aware of this, but it is not a common thing. It doesn't happen too often, was what I was trying to say, to actually have a new expansion to you, because right now Endless Space is like a brand new game to me, for which I am eternally grateful to the guys at Amplitude. Anyway, I gained the best technology among all those available for research is discovered, so this gives me efficient shooting. That's pretty good. It means that I have already access to destroyers, and that's pretty huge. I mean, really, I can now rush for applied Casimir effect. Also, what is this Disharmony penalty? I have no idea what this Disharmony penalty is. I assume that if you overexpand, then your might and matter bonus is actually lower, or maybe you get something else that is penalized for overexpanding, which is good. It makes sure that, you know, Harmony cannot actually overexpand. I like it a lot. So yeah, that's a good thing. And alright, Volta, 4 planet system, 2 deserts, mineral pool. Oh, by the way, a new change makes anomalies actually have color codes. Honestly, I'm not too sure if I like it because it's, I don't know, a little bit obnoxious. But it's not bad anyway. Lots of people used a mod which did the same thing, so I guess most people will like it. I don't really care. I'm not happy about this, but I'm not angry about this either. So, Double Desert. That's the worst planet that I could find because, you know, Harmony hates dust and there's plenty of dust on desert. In the past, desert used to be focused around industry, now it's strictly dust based. On the other hand, Barren have no dust and a lot of science, so I like those planets. So it's not a bad system, it's just not really good either. Alright, let's risk mass. Hold on a second, that's my expansion ship. Alright, let's send it over there. And I'm gonna send my scout ship to this. What is it? Right, Supergiant, that's right. I was at a loss for words for a moment, that's why didn't know what I'm going to say. And it's end the 10 again. Man, this cast is really not as epic as I was hoping, I'm sorry. That's probably because of the break I had when I was trying to generate a nice looking galaxy, and it kinda forced me to stop thinking about my words and instead just randomly talk about random stuff. I'll actually be quiet altogether, which is the worst sin a commentator can achieve. If you can, technically speaking, achieve a sin, which sounds kinda wrong. Anyway, I have discovered the technology I was longing for. Slick Souls is mine, and I'll gladly take it. And since I have the technology I was most interested in, I think I'm actually going to go for a little bit more food production. Only as much as it takes for me to actually it doesn't matter if I get a population increase in a single turn, because what is important is how much food I have. How much food surplus I have, rather. But at the same time, I'm fine with it increasing in a single turn. At the same time, my science is only slightly penalized. 10% is not a lot for a 6 science production, so all in all, it's good. It's really, really good. So in 3 turns, I'll get my anyway fusion plants, which is perfectly fine for me. 3 turns is the duration of time that I can easily wait. 30 has some kind of something on it. A door to infinity. We all know this wonder. It's a decent wonder. So door to infinity. Actually, where is it? No, seriously, where is it? I could swear you can see this wonder from, you know, the galaxy view, but I cannot see it right now. That's strange. Oh well, doesn't really matter. Alright, small Arctic with low gravity, that's good. We need extra approval on an Arctic. And Arctics do not give you a lot of food, if you know, dust anyway, so they are valuable. Huge gas methane is going to be invaluable in the future as well. Small Tundra has a hostile fauna, which I'm a master of because I almost always get hostile fauna. But you know what? I'm gonna set over here. I'm not gonna risk traveling any further. I need another expansion. I need to start working on it. So let's colonize a small tundra with hostile fauna. Also, I just realized I do not need to worry about hostile fauna because I'm Harmony. I can never get either positive or negative approval. So yeah, I can easily colonize hostile fauna and never care about it, not even worry about removing it from this planet, which is fairly amazing, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, let's get some more food going because I do need it. And since I already have 2 planets under my control, I think I will actually increase the focus on food even further so that I can get a very, a decent amount of population very quickly. Now, how much science do I need to actually get the next research? 20 points, and I'm generating 5 per 10, and I already have 7, so yeah, 15, that's alright. Actually, can I go for 4? 4 times 3 equals 12, that's gonna be not enough. Yes, I cannot go for anything lower. 25% is good enough for me, however. I do gain a lot of food income this way, and I'm satisfied. Alright, let's rename Feedies, because as I discovered, renaming systems actually helps me remember them, which is a good and positive thing indeed. So how do we call it? Door to nothing. Or door to no, why not? Door to no. I will know that this is the door to infinity system. I wanted to call it door to nothing because you can actually not see the door to infinity for some reason, but whatever, you know the drill. Alright, 2 systems already, Scout about to discover something wonderful, hopefully. Still I have not discovered any other faction, which will happen sooner rather than later. I hope that it will happen later rather than sooner, in fact, because I'm quite, susceptible to enemy attacks, which is a problem. Why did I get HE batteries? I don't want HE batteries. Oh, I guess it's a random thingy. Yeah, the cheapest technology is discarded. Alright, HE batteries, it used to be a very good update. In the, not update, not industry. Science, no. Technology, that's the word I was looking for. To get, now what does it give you? A laser, that's good, and a reflective isotope, so shield. So, a change that I can see already is that you can actually get lasers early on. Yet again, I'm not happy about this because I like the idea of lasers being a little bit more elite technology that you had to get only after specialized isotopes. This made it, a little bit more prestigious, I would say. Prestigious. I cannot even speak today, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna try and pretend like I know English because clearly I do not. Fatiha, what do you have? Oh, that is amazing system. Lavas don't have a lot of dust on them, so I like them as Harmony. Tiny is good because I have crowded planets, so I will get 3 points of population on this lava regardless. Mineral rich gives me extra production, industry production, which is great on a lava, and low gravity is also good on an asteroid belt. I do like the system, I want it. Now, if I had to guess, I would say that this system is not connected to anything, it's just a lone system, so I'm not gonna go this way. Instead, I'll continue exploring this way, into this red dwarf, which sounds like a sound idea. Mrs. Fadlad just finished, it's... how is it called again? I don't remember the name. Silk Souls, alright. So it's now giving me even more food, which is very good indeed. I think I might create myself a destroyer because keep in mind, nowadays I actually didn't have to worry about maintaining my ships. They don't cost any dust to maintain, so why not just make them? Now I could instead go for extra food, which might be a cool idea, but I do think that gaining another scout is a good idea. So what I'm going to do is retrofit my scout a little bit. In fact, what I'm going to do is scrap this design altogether. Now, usually I create custom names for my designs because, role-playing stuff. But also, usually I play as custom factions. This time, not so much, I'm playing as the official faction. So let's just name it in the same way it is named by default. A cutter. Alright, let's pretend like it can cut something. Let's give it an engine because here, when not, engines are fun. And that's all it's gonna have. And what does it mean? The whole of the ship design has a slot available for specialization. I still don't know what this means. Can I somehow make it specialized in engine? I mean, I know that it already, Actually, this is something I forgot to talk about. Nowadays, ship classes actually have some are even more specialized than they used to be. So now, minus 75% industry and support module engine, that's good, very good. Minus 75% support module engine tonnage of ship, that's also good. And construction effects, minus 100% on population growth on star system. What? What? So apparently, hold on a second. Alright, I'm gonna accept this new design of the ship, but so when I create a it's a cut instead of a cutter, whatever, I actually don't grow any population. That's strange. Maybe, oh, maybe it's just a harmony feature instead of a feature that is introduced to any other faction. I don't know. As I said, those are my very first minutes of this expansion, so I'll make some other tests when I play, you know, off camera, which will definitely happen. But that's a very interesting notion. So maybe harmony is awesome, but at the same time it does not get any population growth when it is actually making ships. Alright, first of all, let's rename this ship because it's annoying. Actually, you cannot rename ships, can you? Right. So let's remove this ship altogether and create a new ship. Actually, do destroyers, no, tectonics, which I assume are destroyers, also cause your population not to grow. Alright, that's fine with me. Cutter, let's make sure that I typed an R instead of a T, and you know, let's just make one, because hey, why not? I do like 110 and my population will not grow, which is actually pretty bad, but I want to have another scout, because hey, scouts are awesome, they help you discover more terrain, and I want to know what is over there. It's fairly important as well. Okay, let's end my turn. Let me drink a little bit of juice, you know, to moisturize my throat, because it needs it. I love my juice. I was actually hoping, you know, to get my ginseng drink, you know, to celebrate the fact that we are playing the expansion. However, despite my best efforts, I was unable to obtain it in time, and I do not have it, which makes me a very sad panda, but anyway, there isn't much I can do about it now, is there? So I'm about to get my anyway fusion plants and access to Titanium 70, which is good. What else do I need? Let's have a quick look what is on top of my priority list. So far I haven't discovered a planet that I'm desperately trying to colonize, so I'm not gonna go for arid epigenetics or anything like that, especially since arid is not exactly the kind of planet I like. Because, that's strange. Apparently also when creating, you know, new improvements, you also do not get any. Actually, no, only when you colonize you do not get any population growth. So, alright, I'm pretty sure that this is the final version. You do not gain any population growth when you expand, aka build colonization ships or try to gain control over a new planet. But apparently as Harmony, you also do not gain any growth when you make military ships. That's what I assume is the case, however. At least, not however. I really cannot speak today, I'm very, very sorry for this. Anyway, fusion plants, what do I want to have afterwards? I guess isolation shields would be nice-ish. And in fact, that's exactly what I'm gonna go for. Some extra science is always good to have. So let's finish the stand, keep focusing on food, because I do want to have as much food as humanly possible. I might expand on Pollux, because hey, why not? We will see about that. Anyway, fusion plants are here, that's very good. Titanium has been identified in the galaxy, and actually, I think I found a bug. Because I have this, where is it, Minnow memory. Can see all strategic resources on visited systems. Except, I cannot. I don't know what strategic resources are on Fatiha 1 or 2, and I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to know that. Actually, hold on a second, I do know that there's quadranics on Phaeton. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I think I just discovered something amazing. In the past, I'm pretty sure that every planet had either a luxury resource or a strategic resource. Apparently nowadays, they don't. Your planets can actually have no resources on them. Which is really cool. I don't know, maybe it was also the case in the older version of Endless Space, but if so, it was so rare, I actually didn't notice that. Now I definitely noticed it, so it is a thing, and I'm kinda in love with this. and it means that you will really have to struggle to gain the resources you need in order to win the game, which I love, I really do. Anyway, let's make sure that the production is queued up on all of my systems, make sure that they are making the right things, and in 2 turns I will actually be stagnated on Mrs. Fantland, which will be the right time to create a colony ship. First, however, I do want to retrofit the colony because I'm pretty sure it does not have an engine, right? So let's leave this ship design and remove the colony because I want to have I want it to have a more awesome name, which is apparently Volcanic. Alright, so what does it give me? Yeah, what you would normally expect. Less cost on civilian module. That's good. So let's give it an angel. An angel? Why would I give it an angel? I wanted to give it an engine and a civilian module. Now, can I actually fit in 2? Yes, I can. So I can either go for engine to expand more rapidly, or I can go for double civilian module to actually create a system that is already fairly well developed from the get-go. Let's create a volcanic one with double civilian module and see if there's anywhere I want to expand to. You know what? I actually might expand to Pollux. It's a fairly bad system, but it's somewhere I can expand to already, so it might be a good idea. Yeah, let's make a single volcanic. Wow, 7 turns, that's quite a lot. Oh well, with the... how they got heavy acid refineries, it will actually not be this bad. So let's end the turn once more, and actually after the turn has passed, I will have a quick look at the scores, but only after I finish the move. And yeah, that was a Hisho. That's pretty bad because Hisho are a very powerful militaristic faction that I do not want to face just yet. Yeah, right. Also, in this expansion, AI has a new... well, AI, which sounds kinda dumb, but that's actually the case. So it is way smarter than it used to be, which makes me scared, especially since we're playing on the endless difficulty. So, let's have a quick look at the revamp of the current system. As you can see, there is now targeting and formation in the game, which I talked about in the past, and right now it doesn't matter at all, but let's have a quick look at it regardless. So you can spread fire, which is what your ships would normally do in the past. I think that in the vanilla endless space, your ships would do something over guillotine, focusing on the first 3 enemy ships, more or less. Now you can, however, make your ships focus on the first ship of the enemy formation, or spread fire evenly, which is kinda cool. At the same time, you can have a formation which is, you know, as you can read for yourself, determined based on various things. For example, you can have a tank-like ships be attacked first, or you can have the weakest ships tank your damage, or do all sorts of stuff. Which doesn't matter because it's just a scout versus a warrior, which is going to absolutely obliterate me. Now, let's have a quick look at the battle cards. Now, this is interesting. In the past, we used to have quick access to narrow persistence and not to the barrier. Now we have a quick access to barrier, but not to narrow persistence. I like it. A lot of people said that narrow persistence needs to be nerfed, which I can perfectly understand because they're currently the most valiant way of repairing your ship. However, I would much rather see some kind of improvement that actually lets you, repair ships in hangar rather than weakening the narrow persistence. Anyway, barrier at start is fairly good. I do like this idea. Now, as you can see, the battle cards changed a little bit. Weapon overclock, as I can see, has changed. It has increased accuracy on melee weapon something, and it has even extra block when it counters the enemy tactics. That's nice. Shot Second has finally an accurate description, and it actually works as it is intended to work, which is good. Other strategy didn't change, magnetic field didn't change either. Yeah, it seems all fairly well and nice, but I'm gonna retreat, obviously, because I don't want to lose my ship to a warrior, because why would I? Let's auto this battle. I know it's my first battle, but I'm just retreating, so it's not really worth to record this battle now, is it? Although the next battle, if it is, I would at least a tiny little bit worth recording, then I will gladly record it. Alright, so you just keep running, and I guess I will send this guy. Hey, I wanted to select him. Let's move him over here to... It's not a sun! Why didn't I change that? I'm still gonna bleed entirely each time I read a sun. There's only a single sun in the entire galaxy or universe. and we're orbiting around it. Sun is not a name of a star. Anyway, let's end the turn. Let me drink some more juice. I'm sorry, I know that you hate when I go silent. I hate it even more than you do, trust me on this one, but I need this extra juice. So good. Anyway, Sing, what does it have for me? A huge desert, that's bad. Large gas helium, that's good, but hard to colonize. Tiny barren, small asteroid belt. Where are the oceans? Or terrans? Or jungles? That's what I want to colonize, not those things. Oh well, maybe this system will be better. I hope it will be, because otherwise I'm in a little bit of trouble when facing an enemy like Hisho. Especially since, wow, those three bastards, they have access to antimatter and adamantium. Now obviously those resources that do not come into play until later down the line, but I have access to nothing! Except Okilakix, Quadranix, which, yeah, I don't care about at all at this point in time. Anyway, isolation shields are almost ready, which is good. Afterwards, what do I want? Xenology, I guess? Yeah, because I do have access to Hydromeo, and it's an important luxury resource which increases your food, which is very nice indeed. And after that, I think I will actually go for, you know, militaristic approach. So what I want is probably better speed, maybe? Yeah, I will go for better speed. It will also allow me to colonize Arctics, which might come in handy. Alternatively, I could go for geoindustrial plants. But I would not use them just yet, I assume. So yeah, let's go for something like this, and soon I'll start pumping out military ships, because I will need them against the Hisho. Now, this time around I'm not playing with any of my random, stupid, you know, custom RPG rules that make me go, you know, declare war on the first enemy I see. Because, you know, it's the first time we experience Disharmony expansion, and we wanna see what there is to it without all this random BS. Alright, that's not really useful exploration event early on in the game, but that's something. What is curious? Im radiation, that is very bad. Actually, it is very good because it lowers dust. Huh, okay, I like it. So it's interesting to play as Disharmony. I mean, a lot of those negative anomalies are not even negative, or sometimes they are actually positive, because when you have no dust on your planet, it's actually fairly good for Disharmony. Anyway, isolation shields are here, so I can queue them up on my... I mean, I can queue public-private partnerships on door to no, which is pretty good indeed. Mrs. Fadlad is working on a volcanic. Afterwards, I would like it to have its public-private partnerships, and apparently it did not get its population before starting development of volcanic, which is very annoying. So I will get public-private partnerships first, just to make sure that I have maximum population to work on volcanic, which is a sound idea in my honest opinion. Let's end the turn once more. And actually I continuously forget to check the scores, which is a fairly important thing to keep an eye out on, because it's important. And wow! That's a hell of a harmony. You know how we suffer from dust? Yeah, there's like almost only dust in the system, and dust load as well. Yeah, lucky me, huh? This would be an amazing system to colonize, except it's absolutely pathetic for me, because I play as Disharmony. Now actually I was wondering if I can show you the amount of damage that dust brings to me. I'm not sure if that is the case though. I think it is shown in the faction trade. I mean, I lose food. This thing that when you can see, maybe it's not because I do not lose any industry, and that actually does cause me to lose industry. Where is it shown though? I'm not too sure. Empire factors? No, I don't know. I give up. Anyway, one fleet awaits my orders. Well, let's exploit the unexploited things. And let's continue moving forward. My volcanic is still being produced, but at this time... Hold on a second, where did my population go? Alright, I assume this is a bug. I mean, because I am producing volcanic, I assume that the game for some reason does not allow me to be stagnated, which is stupid. I don't get it. It's only supposed to subtract my population after volcanic has finished producing. I don't know, maybe just consequently lowers your population as you produce your colonization ships, which is possibly a thing. So let's just keep an eye on Mrs. Fat Lad. If I suddenly lose population after making this expansion ship, I'm gonna blame a bug. So yeah, okay. So what did I discover? The platforms of ease does a very amazing wonder to control. I'm gonna read it to you because I don't think I discovered them on in a video before. So, the world once was the greatest shipyard of the concrete endless. The skies above the planet darkened with the enormous space docks that worked day and night, building and repairing fleets. While much of the technology is lost, the platforms still provide both living space and planetary defense. Basically, a system of platforms is unconquerable. I mean, really, what they do is basically increase your defense by an incredible amount, and they also increase your population on a planet as well, which is huge. Overall, I really like the system. I mean, double asteroid belt gonna be very useful in the late game. Does it? Not so much, but there are also 2 free barons, so it's a good system to have, and mostly because of the platform view. See, let's not lie about this. And that's actually, I believe, a new anomaly, but we cannot see how it looks like because anomalies do not look like anything on asteroid belts. They do not have the animation or anything. Anyway, more experience on beta fleet, which actually doesn't matter at all since it's only a scout. Oh well, let's keep scouting with my scouts because that's what scouts do, I've been told. And that's about it. Door to Know has finished its production, so let's think what I can do with it, shall we? Yeah, I actually have no idea what to do with it. Let's have a quick look at technology. Actually, right now I do not need this food that I am producing a ton of, so instead let's just make sure that I'm stagnated. But do not, in fact, lose any population. So, okay, that's as much industry as I can make without actually losing population, which I like. And Door to Know, you're gonna create me. Actually, you do need to get some more population, so I'm gonna lower this by a tiny amount. Yeah, that's... I can wait for 5 turns for Door to Know to gain extra population, but at the same time I am boosting my science, which is pretty good. This will allow me to get some better technologies more quickly, which is going to be essential if I want to survive a fight against the Hisho and mind my words. We will be at war sooner rather than later. It is an undeniable truth that we cannot escape. So Mrs. Fadlad is ready. Maz looks like an interesting system. Oh, come on, even more deserts! I'm the single most unlucky person when it comes to video games. They hate me. I love games, but they hate me. Anyway, most of those deserts are pretty pathetic for me because, well, Shattered Crust at least lowers the dust production, but only a tiny amount, and it's still a lot of dust on this planet, so it's bad. Tiny Terran is nice, but it does have high gravity, which lowers its usefulness by some amount. Huge Tundra is good though. It is really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and colonize this system first instead of colonizing Pollux. So let's send my volcanic straight away, and let's send my scout to protect Phaeton from enemy influence. Speaking of influence, there has been quite a bit of work done to the influence zones. Actually, I think there was. I don't know the final confirmation yet, because keep in mind, right now I'm flying blind just like you are, but it again, even if the influence area has been reworked, I don't think it actually matters to Harmony much, because they cannot get any dust and they cannot have different upload and content, so you know how it goes. Anyway, what technology I'm working on? Xenology, so I'm not going to get any new technologies anytime soon, so instead, let's scrap the Defender, I don't like it, let's go away, and instead let's make a Tectonic, which is a destroyer of mine. Tectonic, there we go. Not Rectanic, come on! Rectanic sounds kinda awesome, but no. Tectonic. There we go, funny, that's the proper name. Alright, what do I want it to have? Let's have a quick look, what does it give me? Less bomber module tonnage on the ship, I don't have bombers yet, and I do not have fighters either. And that's about it. Alright, so clearly Harmony is focused around using its fighters and bombers instead of other things. So I do not really gain any benefit from using destroyers to actually have some extra weapons, because it has the same tonnage as your average corvette, but it's just better when using fighters or bombers. That's okay, I still am going to use it because it's a different, you know, model, and I like different models. Alright, what I'm going to go for is long range beam. The idea behind this, I want to kill the enemy before he kills me, so let's get a lot of beams. Now, about 55 of my tonnage, sounds good. And what is this? Okay, specialization, I still don't know how to do it, so yeah, whatever. And what else? I do need some protection, so I assume the enemy has deflectors. I mean kinetic, so I'm gonna use deflectors to counter that. And actually, that's interesting. Do they in fact increase your evasion? Yes, they do. They give you evade bonus. They haven't worked. I cannot wait to stop recording and actually sit next to my monitor. I mean, in front of my monitor for a couple of hours, just playing this game offline, figuring out what there is to figure out about this game, while this video uploads to your YouTube so you can watch it as soon as possible. I cannot wait. Actually, maybe this ship, no, it has the exact same stats as the other one. It's just better for fighters and bombers. Alright, good to know. Now, I could give it the engine module, which would be nice, which would allow me to strike the issue of greater ferocity, but I'm not gonna do so, because it costs too much tonnage, and my ships do not have a lot of tonnage at the beginning of the game. I would love to install high energy couplings, but I do not have access to antimatter, so it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Alright, let us create. Thank you, now I have access to tectonics, so I'm gonna start making them. And yeah, I did lose population that I did not deserve to lose, because actually, did I? No, I think I didn't. I mean, my ship took 2 population points away from it, and it's 2 population points I'm missing right now. Something is actually all good, more or less. Anyway, let's start the production of our tectonics. 10 per single ship, that's acceptable, especially if I also make them on door to no. Although we did encounter an annoying interface bug, which actually doesn't tell me how many times do I have to wait to make this ship, but it doesn't matter, it's still okay. So actually I might have 1 extra scout before I do that. Scouts are also always good, and I need them to find out what is over here in this yellow star. No, it's not a sun. There are plenty of names to call stars, but it's not a sun. That thing I can say for certain. Alrighty then. Dortuna has created 2 ships. One of them is definitely a scout, and one is my... No, I didn't want to finish my turn. Come on. That's the power of the misclick, which is always annoying. I do not even know what happened in the last turn. I assume my technology to discover luxury resources has arrived, which is what gave me access to Hydromio, which is now boosting my growth on the entire empire, which is very good, but still it's kinda annoying. Anyway, I'm currently blockading the enemy scout. At least I assume it's a scout. No, it's not a scout. It has way more military power than your average scout does, so it's not a scout. Definitely not. Alright, what did I discover? I discovered more industry on this particular system. Well, that's great, except I can't reach it anytime soon. And oh, this looks awesome. Oh, actually it's an old anomaly. I've seen it before, I'm pretty sure. It still looks awesome regardless, doesn't it? Anyway, it's a system close to the Hishio zone, as I'm going to call it, and that's a pirate. So we're gonna run away from it. Thank you very much. No, I didn't want to manual. No, why did I misclick so much? Well, I guess it's a battle we're going to witness. Hey, we like battles. Okay, apparently, well, the formation in this case doesn't really matter, but I can showcase to you the new camera director, which actually there is no longer an option to manually control our camera, which is not the best. Oh, hey, get back here! Get back here! I want to look at user interface. There we go. But at the same time, let's say, oh, that's a free camera mode, and that's following the fighters, so you can actually not. Oh, my ship died. That's unexpected, but apparently you can. Oh, that's kind of sad. I was hoping you gain more default, you know, camera directors, but apparently you can only follow the fighters instead of having, you know. What I was hoping was that you can actually tell the director focus on a front side, you know, focus the camera on the front of the fleet, or have a top-down view of the battlefield, or something like this. That's what I was hoping for, and that's what I got from the dev video, but apparently that is not the case, which is a little bit sad, but oh well. Anyway, let's send those two techniques. I do want to have at least a single battle before we end this video, because I know that NS Plays videos sometimes tend to have a slow beginning. I mean, in my last playthrough definitely did not have a slow beginning, because I started with a war, which was quite a thing, as you can probably imagine. This time, however, things are much more peaceful, and I tend to keep them this way, at least for a while. Still, I do want to see a space battle, so yeah, I'm gonna do my best to actually have a space battle before I move on. Okay, what did I make? A bunch of more of extra destroyers. How am I doing in this of science? I'm about to discover compact fusion reactors, which is good. What do I want next? Maybe colonize lava? How hard is it to... it's very far away from this, so first things first, I would much rather get... Is it a changed version of magnetic field generators? Yes, it is, and it only works well on Arctic, barrens, oceans, and helium. But it also works decently on a star system, so I kinda like it. But I would rather have the high energy magnetics or better weapons. Both are actually acceptable. So let's have a quick look. That's a better defense system for your system. Alright, I don't care about this thing. What is this? Yet another thing that you can build on a system. Alright, I don't care about this either. And that's just better kinetics. Okay, maybe we could rush them, but at the same time, nah. I would much rather, in fact, gain a larger fleet first. But even more so, I would like to have more industry, so that's what I'm going to focus on. I think it's understandable. Alright, I have even more destroyers now that I'm going to head in the general direction of Phaeton, where they're going to all merge together to form a beautiful fleet that I will use to swarm the Hisho and overpower them completely. At least that's my plan. Since we are playing on the highest difficulty level, I would not be surprised if the enemy had twice the amount of army I have already, but actually, I can finally remember to check it. So, I actually have the second largest fleet in the universe and the second most powerful one, so I'm kinda optimistic about this whole ordeal. I might be able to declare war on Hisho and actually win this, which is good. In terms of science, I'm the absolute worst, which is pretty bad. But that's expected because of the endless difficulty, and in terms of overall feeds, I'm also the worst. But that's because I do not produce any dust, so no matter what, I'll be the worst. That's at least how I assume things are. And in terms of score, I'm pretty far behind everybody, but at least Hisho are also doing pretty poorly. Also, Sowers are the second best. Wow, they either are very lucky or they are actually balanced. I cannot wait to find out on my own. Anyway, I think we need to gain... Let's have a quick look. Is there really nothing I can easily expand to? Lavas, no easy access to it. Barren, dust, desert, nothing. Yeah, no easy access to anything really. So what I can do is just continuously use Dot to infinity to make even more, you know, tectonics. Because hey, why not? More military equals more awesome. That's how I look at this. But my main system actually, hold on a second, it is stagnated and it doesn't need to be. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Oh, it's stagnated because it doesn't grow when I'm making ships. Alright, well, in this case, let's just focus on science altogether. Ignore the food production because I don't need it at this point in time. This system doesn't need to have a lot of food anyway because it's kind of worthless. So I can just continuously keep pumping out tectonics, and later down the line, when I have big military, I will be able to ignore it completely and just focus on growing my empire, you know, only on growing my empire, which is going to be very nice. Sounds like a very nice idea anyway. You know, making a stronger military first, and then making sure that there is nothing that would disallow my systems to grow. It seems like a solid plan. Usually it wouldn't because military costs a lot of dust, but not for me. I play as Disharmony, I don't care about dust. As simple as that, which is kinda great and amazing. Alright, I'm not ending my video yet. I know it's fairly long, it's actually probably over an hour long, which means it will be a nightmare to encode it and upload it. But you know what, I don't care. Alright, so first of all, Is that a pirate? Yes, it is, which means that I need to send it somewhere to start my ships. I need to send my destroyers somewhere to start intercepting pirates in the event where I want to expand somewhere over here, which I most definitely will at some point. So I need two ships, at least two ships to actually guard this area. Alright, sounds like a fair and solid plan. There are pirates coming to my home system, so let's give them a warm welcome, because we all like warm welcomes, don't we? Unless we like cold welcomes, in which case that's not really the case. I don't know what I'm talking about, it sounds bollocks to me, but then again, I have a very random personality, and if you have ever seen any YouTube video other than mine, then you know that I'm everything but your average commentator, because I'm very, very random. Not necessarily in a good way either. Anyway, finally, this battle seems like a more promising and difficult one, so let's have a quick look. Actually, what I should have done is kept my ships in a hangar, so I would have 4 of them in a fleet rather than just 2. So what do those pirate ships use? Beams. That's pretty bad, because I have only deflectors instead of beams. So I'm unprotected against them completely. Alright. Let's go for Nosebreaker to focus on a single enemy ship, kill it as soon as possible. Formation doesn't really matter because both ships are exactly identical. And I think I'll go for less accuracy on enemy weapons. Why increasing my own weapon? Yeah, that's accuracy of my own weapon. That sounds about right. I could also instead go for better armor, but I think lowering the accuracy of the enemy weapon is the best idea. And I cannot repair my ship suddenly, so I'll just go for more short circuit all the way. And let's go for manual! There we go, our first real battle in the expansion. I cannot wait to see some cosmic boom booms. Also, finally, one of the changes I'm most happy about. Do you hear that? It's a new battle music! I'm very happy. I was really kinda... I don't wanna say sick and tired of the old battle music because it was nice. But now we have some diversity, which is really good. Alright, so this is how long range beams look like. That's kinda cool, and that's how medium range beams look like, I assume. So I'm making sure that the enemy cannot really hit me, while I do my best to hit him, and hopefully it all works out in the end. Now I'm gonna continuously go for Nosebreaker in the medium range, and I am yet to lose a ship, which is good, because now no matter what happens, I'm pretty sure that the opponent will die. Because those lasers are kinda like fire and forget lasers. I fired them, they're gonna hit regardless, and the enemy ship will go down, I assume. But, so even if my ships go down, the enemy will go down as well, and I will not have to worry about the pirates. And this battle music! Listen to it! It's awesome! Anyway, actually pirates survived, what? Oh, they went for short second themselves. That's pretty bad, I think they're gonna win this battle. That's surprising as well. Oh well, at least we'll have a chance to listen to more music, and in fact, let's turn off the card! I don't need to know that my ship died to watch the lasers come at the enemy and blow him away, which actually didn't happen, he's still perfectly fine. It's just slightly burning, but who doesn't like to be burning just a tiny little amount? Now, what is this? No, seriously, what is this? Oh, the enemy is blocking the system, so those are all the tectonics that were actually caught in, you know, the system. Alright, and I actually cannot merge them all because I don't have enough space in my fleets. That's okay. You dear sir, go back to the hangar, I don't need you here right now, but you, wage war! Actually, do not need to look at the enemy, instead just go for barrier, make sure to minimize the amount of damage I can take, and let's go for auto. It doesn't matter what kind of targeting or formation I go for because the enemy is going to die regardless, dealing some damage to my ships, but not a whole lot, so it's all good. Mrs. Farlat created a bunch of ships which, as you can see, are waiting for me, which is good. Now, what is over here? Two Tectonics reached the Hisho and the scout is waiting for orders. Well, let's fight against the Hisho. It's only a scout! Wow, they have one powerful scout, as it turns out. I'm not happy about this, however, you know, it doesn't really matter, because I'm just gonna kill him regardless, unless he runs away, which is very likely to happen. So anyway, what I'm going to do is go for short circuit to make sure that most of my weapons hit, and I doubt the enemy will survive past the long range, but why not? Let's try and fight in manual regardless, just to have a quick look at the battle. And that's the old battle music. Oh well, I was hoping for something else. Alright. Let's have a quick look. Did they change the free camera movement? They didn't, which is a little bit annoying. Oh well. I was really hoping for more camera directors, but unfortunately there are none. Alright, the enemy retreats, and that was to be expected, and actually, because I configured my lasers to be focused on long range, as it turns out, they are just like the old missiles. They do not fire, because they are, you know, you only fire one of beams, and it takes a long time for them to reach the enemy ship, so the enemy can easily retreat before I do anything to it. Alright, that's good to know. I mean, I guess it was common sense, but still, it's good to know regardless. Okay, this scout, maybe I can sneak him past the enemy system. Or maybe actually I'll use him, you know what, I'll use him as cannon fodder for the rest of my fleet. But anyway, this video has been quite a long one already. So what I'm going to do is end right here and hope that you have enjoyed what you have seen so far. It was PANCZASU, the mighty mix spammer. If you somehow managed to enjoy my videocast, then please by all means like it, maybe even subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more. Also please do leave a comment because I do enjoy reading them and they help me out a great deal. Keep in mind that this expansion is free for you to buy. I mean, not for free, you have to buy it. But please do so. Support the amazing developers that gave us 4 free add-ons that were stuck full of content before providing us with a real cheap and real amazing expansion. They deserve your love and they deserve your money. No, seriously. Thank you for watching and I'll see you online.